We in the USA used to live in a remarkable economy. Why did it go off the rails? That's what I'm here to tell you. In part 2, I will show how the body economic is constructed. Part 1 of the body economic showed the basic principles upon which a healthy economy operates. An economy is not alive in any sense of the term, but for some reason it mimics the systems of a human body to an amazing degree. How do you know something is alive? Movement. All systems in an organism also work to achieve homeostasis. This is the relative uniformity of the normal human body's internal environment. An economy likewise seeks equilibrium among its systems. The anatomical systems of a human body are grouped together by common tasks. They are not material systems. Likewise, an economy is an immaterial system of data. The creation of private property by labor forms all systems of an economy. Labor is to private property as life is to a cell. The immaterial meets the material at the cellular level and at private property. Cells are individually small and insignificant. It is only in their aggregate complexity that they form the marvel of a body. Millions of people collectively form an economy with trillions of pieces of private property. When mankind discovered the division of labor, we began to grasp this essential lesson of nature. Complex systems must be efficient to survive. Creating similar cells with programmed functions was the most efficient way to use scarce resources in complex organisms. Economies have learned that mass production of private property is the most efficient way to use scarce resources. The system of supply and demand is how data about private property is moved to and from the different parts of an economy. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the circulatory system. Its primary components are the heart and the blood traveling through arteries and veins. The heart is a truly phenomenal creation, largely composed of cardiac muscle fibers not found elsewhere in a body. A free market system has an invisible heart to make it circulate. This creation is the sum of all the combined interactions in the free market. The heart makes blood move through the arteries and veins to deliver nutrition and remove waste from the body's individual cells. Price signals are moved through an economy by way of supply lines and returned by way of demand lines. These lines are the method by which all parts of an economy are connected. Production takes apart input costs and assembles them into usable products for delivery to the supply side of the free market, like food being broken down into molecules for the circulatory system to deliver to the cells. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the digestive system. The first function of the digestive system is mechanical movement. Food is moved from the mouth through the GI tract and out through the anus. The economic profit motive moves input costs through the production process. The second function of the digestive system is chemical breakdown. Various enzymes and digestive juices are secreted from organs and glands that break down food. The economic production process breaks down inputs to turn them into outputs. The third function of the digestive system is absorption from the intestines into the bloodstream. The food that is digested is broken down into specific small molecules that the body can use. Products are transferred from the production system to the free market by sales and marketing from producers to suppliers. The fourth function of the digestive system is metabolism by the cells. Cells are regenerated and become new cells when they are supplied with nutrients. The economic equivalent to cells is private property, where the old is replaced with the new. Now we turn our attention to the economic entities that hold production together, business structures. These structures are led by the producers. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the endocrine system. Specialized glands secrete hormones into intercellular spaces, which are then diffused directly into the bloodstream. Directions are inserted into the economy, providing command and control. The directions received from business structures are embedded in price signals, which are circulated by supply and demand lines. Body organs are designed to accept instructions from specific hormones. In an economy, businesses receive price signals that are specifically coded for them. These price signals are available for everyone to see, but they only affect specific producers. Producers succeed because they can weigh the cost versus benefits to make their single business a profit. When this rare ability is multiplied, the group benefits. The function of the endocrine system is to bring the many different specialized cells in a body together to work for the common good. Substances are moved internally in a body through passages like the GI tract and blood vessels. A body moves externally by changing its position in time and space. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the muscular system. A body has involuntary internal muscles that move blood around the circulatory system and food through the GI tract. Internally, the movement an economy sees is largely involuntary and unconscious. Purpose as profit motive is the driver of production, and thus supply, while self-interest is the driver of demand. Skeletal muscles move either parts or the whole body externally across some distance. An economy moves either towards or away from wealth. Increasing or decreasing wealth is like increasing or decreasing distance. The cardiac muscle is responsible for pushing blood through the circulatory system in a regular sinus rhythm. The communal, invisible heart is a muscular entity composed of profit motives and self-interest opposing each other on a massive scale, which together create the free market. Preventing recessions is an impossible task because the business cycle is completely natural. Creative destruction gets rid of inefficient and unprofitable businesses and replaces them with new. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the respiratory system. This system takes in oxygen from air and expels carbon dioxide generated by the cells. The most important thing that the respiratory system does is to transfer these life gases in and out in a constant rhythm. An economy transfers technology in and out, which is the cause of the business cycle. The diaphragm drives the respiratory cycle. The business cycle equivalent of the diaphragm is creativity. There is no option to a business cycle existing in an economy because there is no option to people expressing creativity. The most important organ in the respiratory system is the lungs. Here's where the alveoli transfer life gases between blood and the environment. Patents transfer new technology to the free market system, or more generally, a reward for innovation. We all determine whether to buy stuff with some method of cost-benefit analysis. This is the methodology that keeps the rest of the systems in balance. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the urinary system. This system is a continuously flowing method of filtering the bloodstream to remove leftovers due to cellular metabolism. It is the kidneys that are the vital part of the urinary system. The free market is similarly filtered by the choices we make. A purchase is a choice. We decide whether we want to buy something based on a cost-benefit analysis, CBA. Without this ability, an economy has no way of knowing what is valuable and what is detrimental. Infrastructure is the silent support for an economy that most of the public ignores. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the skeletal and connective system. A body requires both hard and soft structures to move an economy towards wealth. Support is provided by the hard, bony skeletal structure of a body. The correlation with an economy is obvious in its hard infrastructure, what we normally view as utilities. This ability to deliver quantity to an entire economy is the essential difference between rich and poor countries. Protection of the brain is provided by the skull, and the vertebrae protect the spinal column. The sink, central bank, should serve as the protector of us, the directors of the financial system. The financial market should be similarly protected with insurance. Soft infrastructure is the connective tissues and ligaments of a body between joints that allow bones to move. Our soft economic infrastructure is constructed from education, healthcare, legal protections, and credit. It increases the wealth of a nation by increasing quality in the value of individuals. Economists don't normally consider the media to be a valued system in an economy, but we need some method of extracting valuable information from the noise. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the lymphatic and immune system. This system filters microorganisms and harmful compounds from the lymph, initially in the lymph nodes. An economy must filter out valuable information from the noise. The media can do this for us. The immune system is also able to destroy invaders by using antibodies and white blood cells. An economy does this by exposing the insidious probing attacks of noise to the one thing it can't resist: truth. Finances are not the heart of an economic system. Finances are a transmission system of impulses between different economic entities. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the nervous system. The primary organs herein are the nerves, spinal cord, and brain. The neuron is where information is received and transmitted. This central body in an economy is a debt or asset, the same thing viewed two ways. Nerves transmit information between each other by use of electrochemical exchange. An economy does this with currency. Currency is the variation in value that is like the electrical impulses of a nervous system. The spinal cord is the central location where nervous system impulses are gathered for transmission to the brain. An economy does this with financial markets. These markets are crucial for transferring the directions from people to the entire body economic. The economic brain is the collective conscious and unconscious direction of the people in a nation to which an economy belongs. Every person contributes to how an economy grows, evolves, and which direction it takes. These fragile financial entities must be protected by infrastructure. There is some defined environment which surrounds and forms every living creature within it. This environment has three great effects on the entities within it. It forms boundaries, it is a means of survival and danger, and it changes how entities within it evolve. Our skin is the connection between the air around us and our internal systems. And a developing environment like air is what government is to an economy, not the physical apparatus, but its laws and regulations. We get our food, water, air, and heat from the world around us. An economy receives its sustenance from our public property. The environment must feed its economy these essentials or it will die. In addition to our public properties, an economy receives the reasons why it exists. There is a different body economic for every jurisdiction in a nation. It is the totality of the laws and regulations of all governments, local, state, and federal, that form the environment upon which an economy is molded. The barrier between the fragile economy within and the dangerous environment around it is the apparatus of government. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the integumentary system. Skin is the first line of defense for a body from microorganisms, chemicals, and physical injuries. These toxic influences could easily harm the specialized cells within it if they penetrate too far. The bureaucracy of government is the front line of protection for an economy. Skin is also a primary mechanism for temperature regulation. It accomplishes this by negative feedback. We have a similar economic system of negative feedback called taxation. The civil government attached to an economy should be funded by taxes on all public property, just as a sink should be funded by duties on all profit made by private property. The funding for these sovereigns must come from within the body economic, just as our skin is supplied by the many systems within it. The physical residue from the production process and from freedom of choice is garbage. But data in an economic body views its waste, feces and urine, as something totally different, forms of poverty. A poverty of rights occurs from the lack of an ability to satisfy basic human needs. It is absolute poverty. If we lack the ability to satisfy these needs, we can die. These needs are natural resources, security, society, and purpose. Need products satisfy these human needs. Poverty of rights to an economy is when these products are used by unproductive people. These products are like feces disappearing down a black hole. This is part of why poverty is such a problem. An economy doesn't see it as anything but waste. A poverty of responsibilities is relative to the society in which we live. The people of each economy will decide what level of responsibility constitutes relative poverty. These have been generally determined to be shelter, sanitation, clothing, education, healthcare, and unemployment compensation. The unproductive labor left when our choices clean out the free market system is similar in a body to urine. Waste is something a body must get rid of as it has no need for it. An economy has no need for unproductive people. Poverty is generated by an economy, but it exists because of scarcity. If we had an infinite source for all the costs required to make products, we would not have poverty. Poverty must exist as the unwanted byproduct of an economy because its inefficiency must create waste. What has been missing in the solution to poverty is the ability to see it from an economic perspective. To resolve poverty, we must move our entire body economic towards greater wealth. The only way we are going to provide more stuff to more people is to make more wealth. An economy will die, and so will seek to be reborn. This concept does not originate with standard economic theories. It has evolved from viewing an economy like a biological entity. The biological system that closely matches this activity in an economy is the reproductive system. We know an organism is dead by lack of life. It ceases to move. The economic equivalent is when no movement towards or away from wealth occurs. This happens from war or changes in government. For an economy to be born, we must separate our needs from our wants. The political definition of needs and wants in its environment identifies when an economy dies and is reborn. This division happens every instance of the existence of an economy. Reproduction is a system where a new generation is regularly born with new ideals and new goals, raised by a different generation of parents. Economies will regularly die and be reborn because each generation has a purpose to recreate the world around it. There is nothing to fear from this normal and natural process of the body economic. That is all.